Hello, welcome back to Railway Series Readings. Today we are doing Henry and the Express. Enjoy. Add a puff. The Express is a long, heavy train. Gordon usually pulls it, but only as far as the other railway. Another engine takes the coaches from there to London. It's an important train, too. I must always won. Whatever happens, if Gordon is ill or busy elsewhere, James or Henry have the chance to pull it. They try to do their best and do it well. Too well, maybe. Because sometimes the importance of the occasion gets to their smoke boxes and makes them boastful. One day, Henry was taking place with himself. He had run this rest time, and the Fat Controller congratulated him. I don't know what the Fat Controller would do without me, he said importantly in the shed that evening. I don't care, warned Douglas. Too much puff about yourself, and you maybe you'll run out of puff one day. Pooh, scoffed Henry. I pulled 2 trains, and I failed diesel once. The Fat Controller said it was an enterprising engine. I mind it well, agreed Donald. I took the good trains on, you recall. But Dougie's right. Puff goes before fail. The Scottish winds placed in their own puff, of course, because Henry took no notes whatsoever. A little later, the railway began using a new circle. It was dusty and burned with clouds of thick black smoke. The Fat Controller was cross, and the engines didn't like it either. Filthy rubbish, they grumbled. The new coal made more ash, too. Full on, all the engines began to have pains in their smoke boxes. Hot ash collected there. I gave them the most awful indigestion. One evening, Henry felt dreadful as he got back to the shed. His fireman had to clean an enormous pile of ash on the smoke box before he felt better. The next day, Henry couldn't make steam properly. He struggled to every station, but could go no further. Douglas was there. I can't breathe, Henry wheezed. Out of puff, are ye? Asked Douglas. Didn't say we didn't want ye. Henry couldn't answer. Douglas took his train for him. The fireman cleaned away more ashes, and when he tried to close Henry's smokebox door, it didn't make the airtight fit that it should have done. Those hot ashes at Betty's smokebox door, he said. Air's coming through, so you can't breathe properly for your fire. But I know how we can fix that and cure that. Yeah. He filled the bucket with water. Then he fetched all the old newspapers he could find when his station bookstore. I tried to help him tear them into strips while they soaked in the water. What are you doing? Asked Henry anxiously. Making something called paper mache, explained the driver. When this paper is soggy enough, I shall put it in your air leak. We shall paste it in your air leak so that you breathe better. It won't last forever, but it'll get us home. Oh, said Henry unhappily. Sir was right. When the job was done, Henry felt much better. And even his driver and fireman were surprised how well he seemed. We'll have to get the Fat Control to make it permanent, they joked. Henry was very careful and reached the shed without mishap. His story got there for him. Of course, Donald and Douglas didn't say anything, but now and then they made sort of breathless, puffing noises. Henry thought they must have a very odd sense of humor. Overhaul. What you need, Henry, the Fat Control told him, is an overhaul. Yes, sir. Does that mean that... Yes, sir, agreed Henry. Does that mean I got to go away to crew again, sir? The Fat Control laughed. Not this time, he said. You won't believe this, Henry, but nowadays people in crew couldn't do the work you need. Henry stared, and the Fat Control laughed at his surprised expression. Don't worry, he said. I can do everything in my works. All I have to do is get you there. If James takes their best tomorrow, we can couple you in front. Do what you can to help. And then you can go to the works in style. Henry told James that night. Help me, snored James. I don't need help. I can pull the express by myself, thank you. Overhaul indeed. 2 engines on one train is an overhaul, if you ask me. But the Fat Control already made the arrangements. So there was nothing James could do about it. Next morning, James backed on to the coach in the big station. Henry followed and was coupled in front. James was not in the best of tempers. But when the Fat Controller came to see them off, James tried not to show how cross he was. Good luck, Henry, said the Fat Controller. People at the works know what to do. Then you won't be there too long. James and Bear will take turns with the express when Gordon's busy. The express only stops once before he reaches the other railway, and that is at the workstation. Because of his leaky smallpox, Henry couldn't help much. But he saved his hardest effort for Gordon's Hill. The 2 engines raced up faster than they ever done. When they reached the top, James was feeling better. It was fun, he said. Might even be early at the workstation. But you'll need extra time to couple you anyway. James spoke too soon. They had just crossed the viaduct when Henry felt something wrong with one of his wheels. Someone's wobbling, he told his driver. Just then, they both heard a cracking noise. Ouch! Explained Henry. Whatever it is, I think it's broken. They were passing the station. Something hit the platform. A brick flew past Henry's cab and bounced off James's spoiler and disappeared. Ow! Explained James. Henry might need mending, but he shouldn't need to throw his book and bits at me. Just then, James and his driver heard Henry whistling to warn them he wanted to stop. More bits and pieces flew by, some hitting the carriages. So, noticing the brakes skiffily, the driver stopped the train. And while the guard made sure the train was protected from behind, his driver went to see if any of the passengers had been hurt by the flight debris. No one had, but one of the carriage windows was broken. Henry's crew expected his wheel. The trouble was not hard to find. Your wheel has a steel rim called a tire, Henry's fireman told him. That's broken and come off. It's a miracle it didn't do more damage. James pushed Henry into a siding and went back to the train. "Awful indeed," grinned James as he passed. "Sounds like you need retiring, you poor old thing." He gulped loudly at his own wit and puffed away. Henry smiled to himself. "I don't know about retiring," he chuckled. "I suddenly feel tired." Sliding scales. Because Henry was at the works, the other engines had to help with the flying kipper too. This is a special train filled with boxes of fish, which goes to markets in London and other places on the mainland. James did not like the flying kipper. "All those smelly vans," he explained one morning. "You can't get the smell of your tender for weeks." "I'm very fond of the good kipper," remarked his driver. "You're welcome to it," retorted James. "I like old misery today, aren't you?" said his fireman. "You got out of the shed by the wrong door this morning, and no mistake. Now get him, move on, or the Fat Control will give you something to moan about." Groaning horribly on the curves, James went slowly down to the harbor. The vans for the train were already in the shed, while men and the Britons looked busily lining them with boxes of fish. "Pooh!" said James, wrinkling his nose. James was coupled to the van. He had not been waiting long when a forklift truck, laden with fish boxes, rounded the corner and came towards him. Another hurrying away for a new load. Came too fast in the opposite direction. The one slurred to avoid the other one, and its heavy load shifted. 6 full boxes slipped from the top of the pile and burst open onto the rails in front of James. James closed his eyes in horror. "Ugh!" he shuddered. Looking fish and boxes lay everywhere. For once, James was right. The smell was not nice. Luckily, there was plenty of time for the men to clean up the mess before James had to leave. "A good job the boxes didn't fall on you, James," said his driver, winking at the fireman. James shuddered again. The idea was too awful to think about. At last, all was ready, and the guard showed his green lamp. "Thank goodness," said James himself. There was a speed limit at the harbor, so James could not start quickly. The train seemed heavier than usual tonight, too. When they reached the spot where his boxes had burst, it was moving at no more than a walking pace. The rails seemed clean. Oil on scales on the spilled fish were still there, coasting them with a slippery firm. As soon as James reached the place, the swimming wheels, with nothing grip, began to slip helplessly. James did his best, but the heavy train was dragged him to a standstill. He found he could move neither forward nor back. "Fish!" exclaimed James in disgust. Men butt hoses and watched the rails. James grew very wet and uncomfortable. Then they put sand on the rails in front of each swimming wheel. James was the last able to move his train. It was very late. Or at least he was off the fish key. To say he was glad we put in mildly. Henry sees red. Henry found life boring at the works. It meant hard taught to make him better, but he'd seen ages before he was ready. Unless he passed the test to make sure he was spending properly, meant Kane and repay him. But Henry saw instead of nice green paint, they had something very different in their paint pots. That's not right, protested Henry. The Facadol wants me to be green with red stripes. Not red all over like tomato sauce. Henry laughed. You look very handsome, Henry, they said. But don't worry, this paint is a special sort of undercoat. You should have proper green with red stripes before we're finished. Undercoat, muttered Henry in disgust. Whatever would the other attendants say if they saw me looking like this? He and men laughed and carried on painting. His driver came early next morning to wake him up. Come on, Henry, he said. There's an emergency at the big station. And the Facadol says wants you're to help. But I can't go looking like this, explained Henry. They'll all laugh at me. No choice, said his driver. The diesel Pony Express has failed, and the Facadol needs you to take over. It's either us or it won't walk for the passengers, and you know the Facadol wouldn't like that. The fireman raced steam as quickly as he could, and Henry, blushing with embarrassment, set out for the big station. Facadol was pleased to see him. I feel so silly looking like this, complained Henry. The Facadol laughed. You do look unusual, Henry, he agreed, but you helped me out of a very awkward situation, so don't worry about it. But Henry did worry. Too soon for Henry. It was time to start. The express was heavy, and Henry felt the drag of the coaches. We need help on Gordon's Hill today, remarked the driver. They were in trouble earlier than that. As they approached every station, the brakes were on with the last coach of the train, and they had to stop and uncouple it. To make matters worse, Donald, who should have been there to help, been called away. Then we had to push the coach into a sign himself, and without Donald, there was no one to help him up the hill. Never mind, comforted his driver. You can do it. You're an enterprising engine, remember? Henry snorted. He didn't feel very enterprising just then. The men at the works had managed Henry well. His driver gave him a good start as he could. It was hard going, and now Henry fried with determination. Let them laugh at my red paint, he snorted. I'll show them. Slowly he struggled forward. Upwards. I can do it, I can do it. I can do it, he panted. He went. Oh dear, will the top never come? Then suddenly, there it was. I have done it, I have done it, I have done it, he puffed proudly. After that, it was much easier, and they reached the other railway quickly. The Facadol who had been on the train came to congratulate Henry. Well done, Henry, he said. I'm very proud of you. Perhaps all my engines should be painted red, but you certainly earned your proper green with red stripes. Which, of course, is just what Henry got. and when he last returned to the shed, there was a warm welcome for Henry the Green Engine. Thank you all for watching. Goodbye.